game that will heavily impact the ACC Coastal race. The 3-1 Tar Heels of North Carolina, the 2-2 Georgia Tech Yellowjackets, losers of 2 straight. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Atlanta. Alongside my partner, former Pitt quarterback John Congemi, I'm Clay Matvick. A couple of weeks ago, Georgia Tech was ranked as high as number 14 in the country, but they lost back-to-back games at Notre Dame and Duke. The offense did not look good. Ask head coach Paul Johnson. He'll tell you he wants this team to get back to basics on that side of the ball.
Well, he wants them just to do their job, and that starts up front and it starts at the quarterback position. Anytime you run the triple option, you have to make terrific decisions at quarterback, and that's Justin Thomas. He has to not press and not try to do too much. You have to let the triple option system take care of itself, and that means making good decisions on handoffs and then throwing for a higher percentage down the field. Now, his head coach will be happy if those two things happen, because that means the offensive line is starting to grind it out. They're converting on third down. They're getting more chunk yardage on first down, because 173 yards on the ground last week against Duke, that's not going to get it done in the ACC today against North Carolina.
And meanwhile, the Tar Heels have won 3 straight, but Larry Fedora last week in the game against Delaware got everybody talking. He benched his starting quarterback, Marquise Williams, in the second quarter. And to complicate matters, his backup, Mitch Trubisky, lit it up. But Fedora contends there is no quarterback controversy.
And there isn't. We're going to see the starter today, Marquise Williams. He's a big, strong quarterback, and he's a guy that has to find rhythm and tempo early. Now, his head coach, Larry Fedora, said he had a solid week of practice. He has to focus and be locked in early, and I think he will do that because he's that type of quarterback, a high percentage. You see the touchdown to interception ratio. He has to catch fire early and continue that through 4 quarters.
Hurricane Joaquin has pushed rain into the southeast, and it's been raining lightly off and on last few days. That's expected to continue here today. It might get heavy at times. We'll see if it affects this one. It's a natural grass surface at historic Grant Field, but this field is in terrific shape.
Well, it's a great day for football. It has a little tack in the air if you're a throwing quarterback for Williams. You just want to be out there, and I think these two teams, you talked about the importance of this game. We're going to see it early.
North Carolina won the toss, elected to defer. Nick Weiler has it on the tee. Jamal Golden standing at the goal line for the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech. And it is Golden bringing it out from a yard deep. Up the middle, has a hole. Good return across the 30 to the 31. And Weiler, the kicker, had to make the tackle. There's Justin Thomas. Had a monster 2014 this year. Paul Johnson thinks might be trying to do too much.
Well, you don't want to press in this triple option system. You have to be able to be patient and let that system take care of itself. Now, Justin has thrown touchdowns in 8 straight games, so you expect him to play well through the air, but you'd like to see his percentage go up, and you'd like to see this offensive line help him out by winning on first down.
Penalty on that return against North Carolina. Give Georgia Tech 5 more yards as North Carolina was offsides on the kickoff. So we'll start 1st and 10 from the 36. Georgia Tech glad to be back home. And Isaiah Willis will get the first touch, and it's a good run on first down out to the 42-yard line. And when Georgia Tech has the ball, what are your keys,
We
John?
talked about this. Just do your job. That means the offensive line, don't miss assignments. The quarterback, protect the football and don't press. And the running backs have to hit the edge. And defensively, North Carolina has to play physical. That's what Notre Dame's defense did. That's what Duke's defense did. And that shut down the dominant running game.
2nd down and 4. Thomas pitches to Lynch. And it's a first down carry for Clinton Lynch, who is starting this week at A-back. Broderick Snoddy is out with a hand injury, and this is a beat-up Georgia Tech team, John. They've got 11 guys on offense alone who are unavailable today.
You mentioned it, multiple injuries on that side, so Justin Thomas has to overcome that at the quarterback spot, but you have to have the skill players make plays like you've seen on the first couple.
Yellowjackets moving the ball on this opening series. It's Lynch again. Comes to the near side, and Georgia Tech in plus territory.
Well, Clay, the problems that Georgia Tech has had offensively is they've allowed too much penetration. You're going to see penetration off the edge of the football field there. You get into the backfield, then you set the edge with your defensive end, and now you need a defender in the alley. So the secondary comes up, and you bracket the triple option. That's the best defense for Gene Chizik's defense today. You have to find penetration, you have to set the edge, and you need an alley player from the secondary to come up and make plays.
Second down at 5 from the North Carolina 48. It's Lynch. First down and more. Jeff Schottmer, the middle linebacker for the Tar Heels, escorted him out, but it's a gain of 12 for Georgia Tech.
And Georgia Tech now finding that rhythm. They're not having those busts up front on the offensive line, and that's when it does work, when you're able to gain leverage on the edge with the option. Good decision by Justin Thomas on the outside, and Lynch is able to move the chains again.
Paul Johnson said 70 missed assignments a couple of weeks ago in that Notre Dame game. I don't know that I've seen any missed assignments so far.
There hasn't been. It's been a clean game for Georgia Tech early.
Thomas to Patrick Skov, the big B-back. Grad student transfer from Stanford. Georgia Tech had to replace St. John Days and Zach Lasky at B-back this year. Skov, the grad student, has been a nice fit.
He has been, and you mentioned those other two names that they had to replace. Those were the explosive plays they're missing in this offense, those types of players.
Second down and 6 from the North Carolina 31, opening series for Georgia Tech. Gonna pitch it. Austin McClellan inside the 20 as Georgia Tech is in the red zone for the first time today. Another big run, 14 yards on that play.
A lot of North Carolina defenders on the ground, and it's a great job by the offensive line, and especially blocking on the perimeter. That's the key in the triple option. You need blocks down the field to get those chunk yardage plays.
McClellan, a walk-on, making an impact here in the backfield for Georgia Tech. They're so beat up, they've got walk-ons playing significant roles. Thomas fakes the handoff, pitches again. Clinton Lynch gets to the sideline. He's out at the 11, and a flag comes in.
Face mask, 15 of the defense. At the distance to the goal, first down.
Jerry Magalinas, our lead official today. That's Donnie Miles, the strong safety.
Very easy to see on the perimeter with Miles grabbing the face mask of Lynch, but this is the exact way Georgia Tech offensively wanted to start the football game. Dominant decisions, no bust up front, and now you have to finish inside the 10-yard line.
Thomas, the keeper. No signal yet. Got in, touchdown. On the 10th play of the drive, Justin Thomas with his 4th rushing touchdown of the year.
Clay, that was textbook triple option football, and Justin Thomas didn't panic. He made solid decisions with the football, and here it's just a quarterback follow that creases the Carolina defense right up the middle. He just extends that football, breaks the plane, and he's in for 6.
And now Harrison Butker on for the extra point. Seven 7-0 Yellowjackets. Boy, it's good to be back home for Paul Johnson and the crew. They lead it early. Not the start Larry Fedora was looking for. 4th-year head coach of North Carolina's win total has gone down each of the last 2 years after winning 8 in 2012. And that run defense for the Tar Heels, John, giving up 229 per game. And now they've got their hands full with this triple option, and they did not look good slowing it down on that first series. TJ Logan gets it to the 20. Only 3rd down on that drive for Georgia Tech was the last play of the drive, which, of course, was the touchdown. Marquise Williams on the first play. It's a keeper, and it's a big run. Tucked it and got it to the 41-yard line. Jamal Golden, the strong safety, finally brought him down, but it's a run of 20 to start the day for North Carolina's offense.
And that's a way to introduce yourself to downtown Atlanta. Marquise Williams does a great job of running that draw on first down.
Tar Heels 55% this year on third down, best in the ACC. Williams steps up, unleashes, has a man. It's caught by Austin Prohl. First down, North Carolina to the 38 of the Yellowjackets.
Terrific.
Pick up a 26.
Terrific poise in the pocket by Marquise Williams. Watch him dance around and buy some time, stand firm, and throw a strike down the middle.
Prohl's dad, Ricky, wide receiver for 17 years in the NFL.
Terrific vision by the senior quarterback. He hung tough, had that clock going in his head, and found an open receiver to keep this drive alive.
Here's Elijah Hood. And he's going to be tough to bring down today. There wasn't a lot of room to operate, but he got a couple anyway. What are the keys on this possession?
Tar Heels want to dictate tempo. They want to go fast and make Georgia Tech identify defensively. And for Georgia Tech defensively, they have to survive the flurry. North Carolina's put up points in the first quarter, outscoring opposing teams 45-7. That can't happen today, and it hasn't so far.
Quarterback keeper Williams straight ahead. He stopped well short of the first down. Demond Smith, the free safety, coming up to make the play. So third down now, again for North Carolina.
You mentioned the conversion rate offensively for North Carolina. Georgia Tech, their defensive coordinator Ted Roof told us yesterday they have to find a way to get off the field on third down. We have to control number 12 in the pocket, number 1 with his arm, but he can beat you with his legs as well.
Third down and 15. Williams throws, caught, and then dropped. I think the hit jarred it loose, and it was Demond Smith who leveled Bug Howard to make it 4th and 15.
And it looked like Bug Howard on the outside had the catch and was going to get the first down. Good protection in the pocket, perfect throw, and then the close by Smith jars the football loose. That's just good defense and not giving up on the play. Pretty good coverage by Milton, the corner, but it was the hit by Smith that jarred the football loose.
Hunter Lent is on to punt. North Carolina didn't punt at all last week in the game against Delaware. And they still haven't had a punt return this year. It's a 28-yard punt, no return. Georgia Tech leading. They have the ball when we come back. It's a pretty good scene here. The crowd's
nice energy.
Good, and they've been tailgating most of the day already.
Little mist coming down now at historic Grant Field.
So North Carolina's drive on its opening series stalls out. They're forced to punt. A couple of penalties against them hurt their cause. Georgia Tech going back to work. Thomas getting to the outside, turns it up, and he has the first down. That's why Kirk Herbstreit called him the most exciting player in college football. He has that kind of ability.
He can improvise when everything breaks down. He has that ability. He can make you miss in space, and he has enough sense to know where the chains are to get outside and be able to follow that blocking to stay on the field for another set of downs.
He looked like he was dead in the water in the backfield. Turns into an 11-yard gain and a first down.
Great individual effort.
Here's Scove again. Good run on first down. The 47-yard line of Georgia Tech. The offensive line for the Yellowjackets, 4 returning starters this year. But Paul Johnson pointed to those big guys up front as part of the problem the last couple of weeks. They're controlling that line of scrimmage, though, so far today.
There's no doubt that he challenged that group, and they're responding early in this football game.
Scove getting behind the big men again. It's going to bring up third down and short. Schottmer on the tackle for North Carolina, former walk-on who's had a terrific year for the Tar Heels.
I just like the way this disciplined offense works, and there's no play sheet. Paul Johnson's got it in his head in his 8th year at Georgia Tech. He's got a positive record. They win a lot of games, but he's the guy in total control of this offense. And he's only got about 13 plays, but he's got variations off of them that keep you guessing.
Easy first down for Scove. And they are 3 for 3 today on third down.
Staying on the field on third down is a direct result, Clay, of winning on first down. They've done a nice job of getting big yards on first down to set up second and manageable, third and manageable. Now you have to worry about that pass. When are they going to go up top for the big play? That's what I think Gene Chizik's worried about. First, he has to correct winning that battle at the line of scrimmage, but the defensive backs cannot fall asleep.
Thomas pulls it back and pitches to McClellan. Austin McClellan, the junior from Wildwood, Florida, getting an opportunity today because of the injuries in the backfield. And it's another big run for him. There's Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator in his first year at North Carolina, brought in to fix a real weak spot for this team after last year's poor performance defensively.
They've been good against the pass, but against the run, they've had trouble early in the season, and they're having trouble today.
First down, Marcus Allen, his first touch today. That's a gain of 7. They'll move the chains again. There's no doubt, John, that Georgia Tech is the more physical team here so far. And I think every single coach we talked to this week on both sides said that this game is going to be won by whichever team is more physical.
And that was the main theme. You said it right, Clay. The main theme for both sides. Who's going to play more physically at the line of scrimmage? Who's going to get off the ground to make more plays defensively?
Thomas fooled a lot of people. He still has it, but now he's looking for room, and he finds him on the far side. And that's about a 6-yard pickup. He is very deceptive.
I think he has a lot of poise. Watching him early in this football game and all last year, he's done a good job of improvising when things have broken down, and you see the play selection. There's no doubt what Georgia Tech wants to do today against North Carolina, and that's run that triple option on the ground.
Last year, Thomas rushed for over 1,000, passed for over 1,700. He's the Orange Bowl MVP against Mississippi State. And the first quarter is going to come to an end before they can get the playoff. And it was an impressive first quarter for Georgia Tech. Getting some home cooking this week after a couple of losses. They've had 2 long drives offensively so far, and one still in progress. 7-0 Georgia Tech after 1. But this is a huge one in the ACC Coastal, and so far, John, Georgia Tech is controlling the pace of play. They've got it here, 2nd down and 4, and that's another first down for Georgia Tech. And the first carry for Lynn Griffin.
Georgia Tech's had their way on the ground, obviously. I mean, they've been pounding the football, have not tried to throw it, and why would you when you're having the success they're having on the ground? And it's easily on the edge. It's too easy for Georgia Tech to get the edge. You see the play selection, the yards, just dominant on the ground.
Triple option, or a spread option, as Paul Johnson calls it. Looks like a finely tuned machine today. Thomas keeps and gets it to the 15-yard line. You know, it's easy to see how it could happen to Thomas, maybe doing too much. They lost so much from last year, as you alluded to, all the injuries that have piled up. And then Kirk Herbstreit said preseason, one of the most exciting players in college football, so he's got that label hanging around his neck. But certainly, so far today, it appears that he's refocused.
He's fun to watch. When this offense is on, it's really exciting to watch him operating.
14th play of the drive. Thomas, nice pitch. Lynch, first down, touchdown. Wow, this North Carolina defense cannot stop Georgia Tech. At least not yet.
Ramblin' Wreck is rolling, and they're rolling on the ground and on the edge. Great decision by the quarterback and terrific downfield blocks Isaiah Willis sprang Clinton Lynch to the outside with a terrific block on the perimeter. That offensive line did a terrific job of getting the edge, and that's easy for Georgia Tech. Much different than the way they've played the last 2 weeks in this offense.
They took close to 8 minutes off the clock on that series. 14 plays, 85 yards, and a Clinton Lynch touchdown. And it's 14-0 Tech. Fournette is averaging almost 9 yards per carry, has 8 touchdowns on the year already as LSU is out to a great start. Well, let's see what North Carolina can do. They're already down 14-0.
Have to answer on this drive. They need to possess the football and get it into the end zone.
After the penalty, 1st down and 10, Romar Morris gets to the outside, stays on his feet, and gets across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Morris, a veteran running back for North Carolina, as Gotsis, the second-team All-ACC performer from a year ago, makes his way to the locker room. 2nd and 3, pass outside to Morris. Tried to start up the field, and he's dropped where he stands. It's actually going to be a loss of 1 as Golden and Lawrence Austin, the nickelback in this 4-2-5 defense for Georgia Tech, are quick to cover him up. So now 3rd down and 4 for the Heels.
Defensive coordinator Ted Roof, he was preaching to us yesterday, you have to get off the field on 3rd down. North Carolina came into the game over 50%, around 55%. This is one of those plays he was focused in on.
Williams throws, knocked down, incomplete. Chris Milton played Bug Howard beautifully, and it's 4th down.
Chris Milton beat Bug Howard to the spot. That was great anticipation by the corner, immediately breaking on the football, and he beat the receiver to the spot. Howard can't let that happen offensively, but credit Milton for wanting it a little bit more.
You mentioned Ted Ruth. Get off the field on 3rd down and weather the storm.
That's right.
Check and check so far for this Georgia Tech defense. 2nd punt for Hunter Lent. True freshman walk-on, called on to punt. On the 1st punt for North Carolina, this is Corbin Daly back in there. And he shanks it. Good field position for Georgia Tech when we come back. They lead at 14-0. So North Carolina has used Hunter Lent and Corbin Daly today, punting the football, both freshmen. And Georgia Tech gets it back. They've scored 2 long touchdown drives today already. This is Ricky June, the leading receiver for the Yellowjackets. Good play on 1st down. He's going to get about 7. June, one of the last men standing in a position, John, that's very thin now for Georgia Tech.
Well, it's their first pass attempt for Georgia Tech, and they have a positive play on 1st down, just like they've done in the running. So you're right, June's got to stay healthy, but he's the big play guy on the outside.
They go back to the ground on the pitch. Willis, 1st down and more. Stopped just shy of midfield.
Well, Ricky June at the bottom of the screen.
What a fake by Thomas. 1st down, inside the 10, stopped at the 6 and spun out of bounds. Sam Smiley kept him out of the end zone, but a 20-yard run for the junior quarterback.
This is all Justin Thomas. He's going to turn completely around, and nobody again on the backside has contained. That's the biggest problem North Carolina's having defensively. They cannot get a guy upfield on the edge of the offense and force the quarterback or the running backs inside.
So the Yellowjackets back in the red zone where they're 2 for 2 today. That's their first 20-plus yard play today. 1st down and goal from the 6. And Scove again. He'll get it inside the 5 before he's pushed back. Gain of 2 as Mikey Bart, the defensive end, will get credited with the tackle.
I think Scove just got off track. It looked like the hole was to the outside, and he ran to the inside. Credit North Carolina. They're going to have a couple of stops here, especially when number 5 decides he's going to keep the football.
June and Stewart lined up as receivers to the right. 11th play of the drive. Thomas, the pitch to McClellan, going to the corner. And he dropped it, but it goes out of bounds near the 1-yard line. Mikey Bart tracking the junior A-back down.
Good pursuit, good hustle by the Tar Heels defensively. Last time in this situation in the first quarter, it was a quarterback follow up the middle by Justin Thomas.
Georgia Tech very fortunate that they didn't cough it up there inside the 5. They've been good protecting the football this year. They're +5 in turnover margin. Thomas lunging for the goal line, and it appears he's short. Yeah, they're going to mark him about a half-yard short, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Thomas left his feet, and I think that was the problem. He had no push. The offensive line couldn't generate any penetration, and Jeremiah Clark did a nice job, man on the ground, 49 for North Carolina. He was able to penetrate that offensive line, and I think that's why Thomas had to get airborne.
Now they keep the field goal kicker, Harrison Butker, on the sideline. They've already converted once on 4th down. Thomas got in. Another impressive drive for Thomas, and it's his 2nd touchdown today. The offensive ills, John, that we've seen the last couple of weeks, we're not seeing today.
Thomas may have gotten in, but he didn't get in by much. It was a good play initially by the Tar Heels of holding Thomas out of the end zone, but 2nd and 3rd effort gets him in for his 2nd touchdown on the afternoon. There's no doubt in my mind, because right now the momentum is clearly on Georgia Tech's sideline.
A 10-play drive, a 14-play drive, and this caps a 13-play drive. Those are the scoring drives today for the Yellowjackets. 21-0 late in the first half. Some dejection on that North Carolina sideline. So you're down 21-0. 216 total yards of offense for Georgia Tech. They have had 3 long scoring drives under 3 possessions.
I think if you're North Carolina, you have to find a way to get Ryan Switzer, who's in the slot, involved in this football game.
It's Elijah Hood on the carry. He's tough to bring down, keeps moving those legs, and gets 3 hard-earned yards. Lawrence Austin on the tackle.
We talked about tempo for the Tar Heels offensively. Well, they've got 4:17 and counting. They need to get this tempo and stay on the field to get some points before halftime.
Elijah Hood again finds room on the outside, a stiff arm, and he gets the 1st down across the 35 to the 38-yard line. This is the stiffest test for North Carolina so far. They lost the opener to South Carolina. They've won 3 straight, but they played North Carolina, A&T, Illinois, and last week Delaware. And so far, Georgia Tech has dominated this game. Switzer goes in motion. Low throw. Switzer comes up. Gets it downfield. Is it complete? Yes. Switzer turning a busted play into a 1st down as he completes it to Quinshad Davis. Because that was passed behind the line of scrimmage, it was a live ball and not incomplete.
That could have been dangerous, but Switzer must have played shortstop as a kid, because that was a good scoop behind the line of scrimmage and then an accurate throw down the field to Davis.
Pickup of 11 to the 49-yard line with 3:16 to go before halftime. Elijah Hood spins, Lowers his shoulder and works hard and gets close to the first down. An impressive run for Hood. Keishan Freeman makes the tackle. They will move the chains, John.
Terrific job of second and third effort. Good block on the perimeter by Switzer. But look at the physical nature of the way Elijah Hood runs the football.
They spray it out to Davis. And Quinshot Davis will get 6 on first down to the 35 of Georgia Tech. Elijah Hood is the feature back this year. The last couple of years it's been running back by committee at North Carolina. They're finally glad to have a go-to guy.
Well, he wants to be the guy, and I know head coach Larry Fedora wants him to be the guy.
Only the second time in Georgia Tech territory today for the Heels. Second down and 4. Inside handoff. That's TJ Logan. Ball comes out. North Carolina tries to recover. And it appears they did, yes. Kendrick Singleton recovered for North Carolina, and they'll have it at the 19-yard line.
TJ Logan, very fortunate that North Carolina is able to get back on this football. May have been Peterson, 70, the big offensive guard, who recovered the fumble.
They fake it to Hood. Williams sprinting out. Hurdles a would-be tackler, gets to the 15 and falls out of bounds. And that'll stop the clock with exactly 2 minutes to go before halftime. North Carolina, Georgia Tech, each having 3 timeouts remaining, their full complement.
Clearly the best drive of the afternoon for North Carolina, 7 plays and counting, but they have to finish. Now with the ball at the 15-yard line, they have to find a way to get this in the end zone.
Second and 6. Hood takes it wide. Got a block. And he's out inside the 5 at the 2-yard line. Jamal Golden, a touchdown saving tackle, but it's a gain of 13. First down and goal, Tar Heels.
Love the way Elijah Hood finishes runs. He looks for contact, he lowers the shoulder, and he will try to run you over.
He looks like an NFL running back. And he takes it in for a North Carolina touchdown. What a response by North Carolina. And Elijah Hood did much of the work on that series.
When the Tar Heels needed it the most, Marquise Williams and more Elijah Hood was able to provide consistency in the offense, toughness in the offense, and make plays to get on the scoreboard. Good surge by the offensive line, good crease, and the strong inside running by Elijah Hood.
Nick Weiler tacking on the extra point. And a 9-play, 75-yard drive late in the half breathes some life into that North Carolina sideline.
When it was needed most, Elijah Hood was able to come alive, especially on the perimeter when he lowers the boom.
Still plenty of time on the clock here in the half. And Georgia Tech's offense hasn't been stopped yet. They'll start at the 25. Thomas to throw on first down. Lynch was open, but he couldn't haul it in. It's off his fingertips, incomplete.
Boy, that pass just needed a hair more air to allow the receiver to get underneath that. If Justin Thomas just throws that ball up a little bit softer, I think Lynch might be able to run underneath it.
First incompletion for Thomas. Of course, he's only thrown twice.
Yeah, I like his percentage right now.
He's at 50%. 1:22 to go before half. Both teams each with 3 timeouts. Thomas nowhere to go, and he's dumped at the 21.
I think you call timeout if you're North Carolina here. You've got 3 of them remaining.
And they do. Thomas has time. Runs out of the pocket, now throws to the near side, and it lands incomplete. A little low for Ricky June to get underneath. And it'll be 4th down with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go. So now North Carolina will get the football back.
And it helps North Carolina that Georgia Tech decided to throw the football there on 3rd down. They don't have to waste another timeout. You get the incompletion, and now you're hoping that you get good field position with Switzer back deep.
Yeah, and Switzer, a punt return genius. 85-yard return for a touchdown 2 weeks ago. He had 5 punt return touchdowns. And somehow Rodwell got it off.
That's amazing.
Ryan Rodwell got that kick away and almost got it to midfield.
That was a terrific individual effort by Rodwell to scoop the football on the low snap. Remember, it's a wet day. Mist coming down inside of Bobby Dodd Stadium, but he had the wherewithal to try to kick this outside of the pressure. That's just a great job. You know, kickers, we give them a hard time. Everybody gives kickers a hard time, but I know everybody's going to be applauding him for getting that one off.
Ryan Rodwell, the junior punter, 2nd year on the job. Now North Carolina, good field position. They start in plus territory. And that's Romar Morris out of the backfield. Get about 9 to the 35-yard line. Clock is moving as he stayed in bounds. North Carolina 2 timeouts remaining.
Plenty of time left here to take advantage.
Williams unloads, caught, and out of bounds at the 27. That is the receiver, Mac Hollins.
And that's a big-time throw with 30 seconds left before halftime. I'm telling you, Williams hung in there and threw a strike outside the numbers.
They're in Nick Weiler field goal range already. His career long is 48, but North Carolina would love to get in the end zone.
2 timeouts remaining, so you can really use anything in your offense, and you can go inside or outside.
Half minute to play. Williams on 1st down, dances away. Still looking to throw. Does toward the sideline, incomplete. That was well covered in the secondary by the nickelback, Lawrence Austin. 21 seconds.
Pretty good job in the secondary of being able to stay on the playmaker, Switzer. Nowhere to go for the football with Williams. Sometimes in this situation, it's a lot easier to check the football down when it's misty and raining. Make that easy pitch and catch to your running back, 34, Elijah Hood. Run some verticals down the field and let him make people miss underneath.
Low snap. Williams handles it. Throws. Man open. Caught inside the 10 by Davis. And he quickly got out of bounds after that catch to stop the clock with 15 seconds to go. 1st down, goal to go, North Carolina.
Another strike from the left hash outside the numbers. Hey, give him another chance. Davis is 6'4". Throw a fade to the short side. That's where I may look right here.
Williams does throw to the end zone, and Davis. And he took a look at the official and wanted a flag thrown on DJ White, but falls on deaf ears. So 11 seconds to go, 2nd down and goal, Tar Heels.
2 timeouts remaining, so you've got everything at your disposal. Williams 73 yards in the air, 27 on the ground. If you spread out Georgia Tech, you can even still run the football here with 11 seconds because of the timeouts.
Trips to the near side, lone receiver to the right. Williams, draw play, keeps it himself, heads to the end zone, touchdown. Huge drive for North Carolina, just ahead of the half.
Terrific play call by Seth Luttrell. That's where I was thinking. Spread out Georgia Tech, let your big guy, who's made 2 terrific throws on that drive, finish it with the quarterback draw.
And the Tar Heels, 14 unanswered to pull within 7. Well, Georgia Tech, first 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. But North Carolina finally answers late. 2 touchdowns on the Tar Heels' last 2 drives. And North Carolina will get the ball to start the 2nd half. Clinton Lynch And that Georgia Tech offense impressive for the first quarter and a half. North Carolina pulls to within 7 at the break. 21-14 Tech. Welcome back to the ACC on ESPN. Big game in the ACC Coastal Division. North Carolina, Georgia Tech at the half. Georgia Tech leading by 7 as we get ready for the third quarter. He's John Congemi. I'm Clay Matvick. Great start for the Ramblin' Wreck today. Jumped out to a 21-0 lead, but then in the last minute and a half of the second quarter, North Carolina scores 2 touchdowns, turned the game around.
It was amazing because Georgia Tech had the ball for almost 22 minutes. Yeah. They ran over 40 offensive plays, but yet the last 4 minutes, North Carolina's offense got on track. We saw Williams throw the football. Hood was running the football. A lot of synergy, a lot of toughness, a lot of physical runs, and big plays on the outside, so it cut the deficit to only 7, and now Georgia Tech has to come back and play defense and answer.
And North Carolina will start with the football here in the second half as well. Harrison Butker ready to kick it deep. And he puts it in the end zone. TJ Logan will take a knee, and penalty helps him out from the 40. Williams moves up in the pocket. Big run. First down into plus territory, and he's spun down at the 47-yard line by McCordez. But Williams, you can see the confidence in him now.
Nowhere to go with the football down the field. And when you have good vision and you have that clock in your head, you have to make a play with your legs. He can do that.
Wasting no time. They get the snap off. Wide open man downfield, and it's Hollins. Mac Hollins, their big play threat, gets into the secondary, makes the catch. It's a gain of 25. And here comes North Carolina threatening to tie this game up.
Tempo and execution right now on the Tar Heel side offensively, and it's all been led by Williams' decision-making out of the pocket.
Gives it to Hood, trying to turn it up, and he'll get 3 yards on that run. Lawrence Austin and P.J. Davis combine on the stop. Williams now throwing the football 9 for 15, nearly 100 yards, and he's been a good decision maker today. No interceptions thrown. That's also part of the problem going back to last week in the Delaware game.
It was, and the problem today was in the first quarter, Clay, not a lot of offensive opportunities. Georgia Tech held the football.
Incomplete. Williams hit hard as he got rid of it by DeMond Smith. 3rd down and 8. And Elijah Hood, John, did go off the field before that last play. He was limping a bit.
And he didn't come back on in this critical 3rd down opportunity for the Tar Heels offensively. And that tells me a guy that we haven't seen, Ryan Switzer, he's going to line up to the wide side in the slot. That's a guy, if Georgia Tech brings pressure, he can beat you man-to-man. He's right here in the slot.
3rd and 8, Williams to the end zone, incomplete. Off the hands of Davis. DJ White in the coverage. So now 4th down, and the field goal unit will run out for North Carolina. Nick Weiler having a very good year as the Tar Heels field goal kicker. 7 of 8 on attempts, including 4 from beyond 46.
To keep the momentum, he has to convert here.
This from 37. Right between the eyes. In North Carolina, it's a penalty, but the points stand. 21-17 Tech. The North Carolina fans with reason to dance now here in Atlanta as they've had 3 straight scoring drives after falling behind 21-0.
Didn't look good early, Clay. Did not look positive for North Carolina offensively, defensively, special teams, and now they're going to try an onside kick.
Weiler, the onside kick. Ball is loose. It is covered up at the 43-yard line of North Carolina. Georgia Tech has it. So the Tar Heels trying to keep the momentum on their side, keep their offense out there with the onside kick. But Chase Alford covered it up for Georgia Tech.
Larry Fedora's special teams looked like they had a chance right here. Good job of getting on the football by Georgia Tech. And I don't know, it's a gamble when you have momentum on your side, but you're going to put a whole lot of pressure on a team that has not been able to stop Georgia Tech's offense on a short field.
Justin Thomas and the Yellowjackets take over at the 43 of North Carolina. Thomas, the pitch to Isaiah Willis, and he is cut down in the backfield for a loss on the play by Jeff Schottmer. It's a loss of 4. So 2nd down at 14.
That might be the first negative play on 1st down that we've seen out of this defense. And this is just going to be a good job of getting to the outside and being able to set the edge, something the Carolina defense has not been able to do. Good recognition by Schottmer out of the middle linebacker spot.
He's Gene Chiswick's coach on the field. Just loves how the senior from Dallas plays. 2nd and 13, Thomas rolling out. Throws it downfield into double coverage, and it's caught by Ricky June. And he tumbles ahead to the 28-yard line. How he managed to hang on to that football in that coverage is beyond me.
It's a heck of a throw to even get this play off. Great athleticism in the pocket to throw that accurately when you're falling down. And Ricky June makes a big-time play on the outside. If he keeps his feet, he could get into the end zone.
2nd catch for June. That one goes for 18. And this North Carolina defense continues to struggle slowing down
and the
Tech offense.
The slot is uncovered at the top of the screen.
Pitch. Lance Davis stops short of the 1st down, but another big run. Give him 9. 2nd down and 1 for Georgia Tech, leading 21-17. They've got it at the North Carolina 19. Thomas wants to throw. Goes to the end zone, caught. Touchdown, Mikel Lance Davis. How about that call? They haven't been able to stop the run, sort of mix things up. Georgia Tech passes, and they still come up aces.
Well, I think you get a waist down, and you get a good job of being able to put a little bit more air under the football. And that's exactly the pass play that Thomas missed a couple of plays ago. Terrific job of play calling on 2nd and 1 by Paul Johnson, their head coach.
And Georgia Tech stops a 17-0 North Carolina run. And it's 28-17. And the Heels will start again from the 25. Williams averaging over 8 yards per run today. Looking to throw here. Deep middle. Has a man. Hollins, but he can't reach it. Mac Hollins from Rockville, Maryland is the deep threat. Williams picks himself up off the turf. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
I think it was A.J. Gray, the defensive back, the safety, coming into pressure Williams on the throw, but he had the big man down the middle. Mac Hollins had a step behind the Tech coverage.
Hollins 100 yards receiving, a couple of touchdowns last week. Williams just missed him. Morris goes in motion. Williams looks that way, throws to Switzer. Nice catch. He is a water bug and hard to bring down. Into Georgia Tech territory. Finally wrestled at the 44-yard line by Hunt and Gray.
Well, I love the way this guy plays football. Ryan Switzer made a heck of a catch and throw earlier in this game, and now watch him bounce off of Georgia Tech defenders. He gets everything out of every play.
Gain of 17 for Switzer. Play fake. Lots of time for Williams. Comes to the near sideline for Bug Howard. And that's going to be a gain of 7. White is there in the coverage. Howard, a big veteran wide receiver. You talked about the size of some of these wide receivers. As a former quarterback, guys must love throwing at targets like that.
It's a luxury.
And now he hits Austin Prohl. And that's going to be a first down for North Carolina as they're starting to move the football much better.
When you have success, you create tempo. That's when North Carolina is at its best offensively.
How many times did Larry Fedora talk about rhythm this week when we talked to him?
A lot. And it means a lot to this offense. You can tell by the way they started the game to where they're at right now.
Elijah Hood. He is never brought down in the first hit.
No, he initiates punishment. And we talked about tempo in the beginning for offense on North Carolina's side of the ball. They want to be able to go fast. They want to be able to dictate and make Georgia Tech identify defensively. And then Georgia Tech, they survived early, but now they're playing catch-up defensively because of that tempo.
2nd and 5. Williams had all day, still looking downfield, gets out of a tackle, first down and more. He might get to the end zone. Finally brought down at the 1-yard line. What a run for Marquise Williams. Gain of 25, first down and goal to go.
And he's able to extend the play because he keeps his eyes down the field, and there's always a threat to throw the football.
Oh, and that one was nearly picked off by Georgia Tech's DJ White. Oh, he's cussing himself right now.
Oh my, this could have went the other way in a hurry. Hit him right in the hands.
Marquise Williams did that last week against Delaware, and he found himself on the bench.
You're right.
On the next series.
Remember, you've got Hood, who's a physical runner, and you can always run the quarterback draw here.
They go to Hood. Touchdown, North Carolina. On the 11th play of the drive, the Heels get in.
Physical runner. That's exactly what Elijah Hood is. And that determination gets him in from the 2-yard line. Good blocking, and he just runs right over a Georgia Tech defender.
Nick Weiler to make it a 4-point game. North Carolina responding. Second touchdown for Elijah Hood after that big run for Marquise Williams. Nick Weiler has it on the tee. Jamal Golden back deep for Georgia Tech with 6:50 to go here in the third. Short kick. Golden to the 20 and then hit and gets to the 25. Let's get 221 yards rushing today for Georgia Tech. Isaiah Willis has been very good in his opportunities today. Jeff Schottmer with the shoestring tackle, but it's a gain of 11 and a Georgia Tech first down as the Heels continue to have trouble with this offensive attack for Georgia Tech.
On the perimeter, the Heels have not set the edge very well defensively, and credit Landis Davis. He was the freshman out in front blocking down the field from that A-back position.
221 yards rushing today for Georgia Tech. This is Scove bouncing off a tackle and spinning for a 3-yard gain. North Carolina giving up 229 rushing yards per game. That is last in the ACC. Tech is already at about that mark. There's still 6 minutes to go here in the third.
And that was a win for North Carolina on first down. Georgia Tech's been getting 6, 7, 8, 9 yards on first down.
They pitch it on 2nd and 7. Mikel Lance Davis, who had that touchdown on the last Georgia Tech possession, will move the chains again for the Yellowjackets.
And Clay, I'm not so sure when Georgia Tech is going to take advantage of this, but North Carolina is not lining up anybody on the slot receiver when they go twins to the field. That's something that Paul Johnson may want to come back and get an easy pitch and catch later in this game.
Thomas wants to throw. Lynch bobbled it and held on. Clinton Lynch hauls it in at the 34, a gain of 18.
Same route Georgia Tech scored on in the previous set of downs. A wheel route on the outside with June driving the post. Great individual effort going up and getting the football, and you can see the confidence in Justin Thomas.
Thomas 4 of 6 now, 63 yards and a touchdown pass. Thomas elects to keep it, spins away from trouble once, but the second wave got him. Ball comes out, but they're going to rule him down. Thomas down at the 30, junior Nankande. Another nice play defensively for North Carolina. That's a loss of about 4 yards.
And this is something we haven't seen out of defensive coordinator Gene Chizik's defense. The negative plays on first down. We're starting to see a couple more plays made by this Tar Heels defense to kind of get Georgia Tech off track offensively.
They mark it at the 28, second down and 14. Thomas to throw. The comebacker, Brad Stewart, the catch. Inside the 15, still on his feet, and he lunges ahead for a first down. Sam Smiley again on the coverage. And Stewart out-muscled him for the first down. But they give it to the B-back, Patrick Skov. Not much.
Nankande was there again, Clay, right at the point of attack, number 44 for the Tar Heels. Starting to make better plays at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage out of this defense. Boy, if I'm Georgia Tech, I get to the perimeter. The Tar Heels have had trouble defending on the outside and setting the edge against this triple option.
They've got 2 receivers to the short side. A lot of real estate here on the wide side of the field. They pitch it to Willis. Makes his way toward the pylon, and he stops short. Shaquille Rashad kept him out of the end zone.
Good call by head coach Paul Johnson, using the speed, trying to gain some leverage to the short side of the field. Now Georgia Tech has come back with this quarterback follow probably 3 times in this game in the red zone. Twice for touchdowns right over the center guard area with the quarterback, Justin Thomas.
See if they get a playoff before the end of the third. They do not. So this drive, which started at the Georgia Tech 25-yard line, is right on the front porch again. Georgia Tech with a 4-point lead going to the 4th quarter. 3rd and 1 from the 1 coming up. Ready to start the 4th quarter here in Atlanta. Freddie Burden, the junior center, is Georgia Tech's best offensive lineman. Justin Thomas has tucked it behind him for 2 one-yard touchdown runs already today.
And I'd do it again.
First play of the 4th. Thomas lunging ahead. I don't think he made it. Nope. 4th down and goal.
You would think Georgia Tech in this offense, they're going to go in with the mindset, we're going to get 2 cracks from inside the 1-yard line. And I think that offense and head coach Paul Johnson knew that at the timeout at the break.
Skov is in the backfield behind Thomas, who gets under center. Thomas,
he didn't get
hit. Shaquille Rashad pulling him back, and North Carolina holds. And they'll take over on downs.
What a defensive stand by Gene Chizik's defense in North Carolina. Stopping Georgia Tech's triple option twice inside the 1-yard line.
No breathing room for North Carolina now. They've got it at their own 1. They've got breathing room now. Just give it to Elijah Hood. He'll get you 6 or 7 just about every time.
Well, let's credit that offensive line. There was a huge hole off the left side for Hood to square those shoulders up and move it closer to the 10-yard line. Great surge on the left side. Peterson and Ferranto did a terrific job of moving those white jerseys backwards.
North Carolina working with a silent snap count this week in practice, preparing for Bobby Dodd Stadium, which gets pretty loud. Student section right behind Marquise Williams. And he'll audible here, play clock under 10. On 2nd and 3, Hood. He stopped about a yard short by Keyshawn Freeman, the freshman All-American last year. At defensive end for Georgia Tech.
All you're thinking offensively is we need a first down. We need one first down to help if we have to punt the football for field position.
Here's our game track presented by Taco Bell. Georgia Tech dominated the first quarter and a half. Since then, it's been a really competitive football game.
Yeah, it's been Marquise Williams' ability to rush the football in the second half. 83 yards on the ground.
They need a yard. They're not going to get it. Grant Mitchell, the true freshman who Ted Roof brags about and says this guy's going to be a star, comes up with one of the biggest plays of this game.
Terrific defensive stand by Georgia Tech. They just win the battle at the line of scrimmage. Great recognition, and you get penetration. That's exactly how Ted Roof wanted to draw it up, and his players executed it to perfection.
Mitchell, a rookie out of Knoxville, Tennessee. And North Carolina forced to punt from the end zone. It's Hunter Lent. And it takes a nice Tar Heels roll into Georgia Tech territory. And it's going to stop at the 44, a 49-yard punt. First down from the 36. Thomas is hit. Loose football. North Carolina's got it. Nankonde rumbles inside the 40 to the 37-yard line on the fumble return. What a game for Junior Nankonde.
Just the play North Carolina needed, because Georgia Tech was poised to take control of this football game. Terrific strip in the backfield by Collins, number 23, the linebacker, the weak side backer. And Nankonde on the football. He just gets a hand on the football, does Collins. He's able to strip it loose, and then the scoop and recovery by the Tar Heels.
First turnover of the game for either team.
Maybe
First
a strike
10
right here. Take a shot.
37, and they're going to try a reverse. And the pass, Davis, Williams, touchdown. Well, they took the shot. A little unconventional, but it works. And North Carolina has its first lead.
Anytime you have sudden change on defense, you must be aware of the trick play or the shot play down the field. This time it's the reverse to the wide side, and Davis throws a strike back to his quarterback Williams for 6.
North Carolina was down 21-0 late in the second quarter in this game, and now they lead for the first time 31-28.
A little trickeration, sudden change. The pitch goes to Davis, back to the quarterback Williams, and North Carolina has its first lead of the day.
It's been a game of runs. Georgia Tech, 21 answered to start. Now it's been all North Carolina as of late. That's a pretty pass from Thomas to Ricky June. And he snares it out of midair to the 42-yard line. That's a gain of 16 yards and a Georgia Tech first down.
Justin Thomas threw that away from coverage. That was the perfect pass. There's no defense in the world that beats a perfect pass. And that one there by Thomas was a rope on the sideline.
Marcus Allen That was a late pitch to Allen, the junior from Florida. Collins ran him out. Good to see Allen still in the game for Georgia Tech, John. He hasn't been able to finish a game yet. He's been nicked up throughout the year.
Good yardage play on the outside, on the perimeter. That's where Georgia Tech has had a lot of success. Normally it's been to the left side, but the perimeter has been weak for 3.5 quarters for North Carolina.
Who do you fault mostly in that?
Whoever's setting the edge, defensive end, linebacker, corner, whoever's responsible to that side.
Going middle is Scove. And he gets 3 more for Georgia Tech as that clock winds under 8 minutes. North Carolina has taken the lead here in the 4th quarter.
Another critical 3rd down opportunity for Georgia Tech. 4 of 9 on 3rd down so far in the football game.
The pitch to Lynch. They set the edge that time, and they bury him in the backfield. Kason Collins read that the entire way. It's a loss of 3, and it's 4th down.
Collins looked like he was shot out of a cannon to the short side of the field for the Tar Heels and head coach Larry Fedora. Coming up with a stop when they needed it the most. He beats the guard outside and makes a form tackle. You can't coach it any better.
4th down has been good for Georgia Tech. They throw it incomplete this time. Des Lawrence, the corner, in on the coverage of Brad Stewart, and North Carolina again will take over on downs. Huge defensive stand for the Heels, John.
Unbelievable tackle on 3rd down by Collins to the perimeter.
Georgia Tech on 4th down. They hit on 3 right away in this game, but they've missed on their last 2, and North Carolina has the momentum late. Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator for North Carolina, his first coaching job since being fired at Auburn in 2012. Very proud of the way his defense has played here in the 2nd half. Williams, tons of running room up the middle. Into Georgia Tech territory to the 32-yard line. A run of 27 yards for the Heels quarterback.
And that takes him well over 100 yards on the day. In a situation for North Carolina, when you want to control tempo and control the clock, you get a huge play on 1st down out of your quarterback.
Carolina leading by 3. A little over 6 minutes to go in the game. Williams hit in the backfield and sacked by Freeman. The last 3 Georgia Tech drives turned it over on downs twice, and they lost a fumble. The defense really playing well for North Carolina, and this offense trying to capitalize and make this a 2-score game late. Knocked down, incomplete. 3rd down and long for the Heels. That was Antonio Simmons who got the start today at defensive end. A sophomore out of Jacksonville got his paw on it.
Terrific stop there defensively for Georgia Tech. You put him behind the chains on 2nd down, and now you're on 3rd down and you're behind the chains again. But Williams' running ability has been able to rescue North Carolina. Not so much his passing, it's his legs that have gotten North Carolina out of trouble on 3rd down and continued to move the chains.
Switzer, the catch, but he'll be stopped well short of the 1st down, brought down by Jabari Hunt and Keishan Freeman. 4th and 6.
And that offense is going to stay on the field.
You like this?
Got to stay on the field. You have to control what you do with the football. I think offensively you have to rely on your quarterback to make good decision here. The senior, you put the game in his hands with 5 minutes left to go.
All Williams. Nobody's going to stop him. Touchdown, Marquise Williams. Nobody accounted for the quarterback, and he scampers in from 28.
Taking a page out of the Georgia Tech playbook with the option on the outside. Let your senior decide it. He's made good decisions the entire game, and he's really done it with his legs. He's led Carolina back with his legs.
And it's a 10-point ball game. Second rushing touchdown for Marquise Williams today. He's also got one receiving, and he's passed for 134 yards. And the Yellowjackets will start at their 25. We're under 5 minutes to go as the clock is working against the Yellowjackets now. That pass is caught by Brad Stewart. The clock continues to run here in Atlanta as Georgia Tech, which had a 21-0 lead in the first half, is down 10.
Plenty of time for Georgia Tech. 4:32 and counting. They have all 3 timeouts remaining. Down 10. They need their quarterback now, Justin Thomas, to make some plays with his right arm.
Thomas, the keeper, and he finds room in the second level. Tripped up at the 45-yard line by Sam Smiley. It's a gain of 11. They'll move the chains. Georgia Tech needing 2 scores.
Both quarterbacks have played very well today, and you can tell they're the leaders in command of their offense.
Deep drop. Time to throw. Thomas unleashes. It's complete to Isaiah Willis. He gets loose. Big gain to the 15-yard line. How about this offense? The triple option now getting it done through the air.
That's the explosive play Georgia Tech needed through the air. Too much cushion on the outside by Carolina, and that's too easy for a team that doesn't throw the football with regularity.
First down and 10. Clock moving. Yellowjackets at the North Carolina 15. Quick throw to the outside, and it's dropped. Drop behind the line of scrimmage, so they pick it up. And Lance Davis is going to take a loss.
And I would think, you know, Paul Johnson is waving, hey, that was an incomplete pass. That wasn't a lateral. They're calling it a lateral, so it was a good job of getting on the football by Landis Davis.
The running play, so now 2nd and 15. Thomas goes off his back foot and gets rid of it. Now another big 3rd down for the Yellowjackets.
Better job in man coverage that time by the Tar Heels defensively in the back end. Nowhere to throw the football for Justin Thomas, and he does the smart thing and throws it away. Des Lawrence back at corner for the Tar Heels on this pivotal 3rd down opportunity. 3rd and 15 for Georgia Tech.
See if Gene Chiswick's defense can do it again. They've been so good here in the second half in big moments. Deep drop. Thomas has time to throw. Had a man open in Lynch, but he couldn't haul it in. There was nobody within 5 yards of Lynch. And now it's 4th down, and they're going to attempt a field goal. So Gene Chiswick's defense continuing to stand tall.
Boy, and that's one you'd love to have back if you're Justin Thomas. Tyler Powell put some pressure in the pocket, but a wide open receiver, you miss him, and now you need to convert with your special teams.
Butker from 37. This is to make it a 1-score game. And it's 38-31. 2:46 to go. Georgia Tech didn't need a timeout on that last series. That could prove very important. Larry Fedora knew that today was huge for his football team.
And they're going to have to play physical again with 2:46 left to go. Could be an onside kick opportunity. Hands team out on the field for UNC.
Onside kick. Loose football. Georgia Tech covers up at the 50. Tyler McCourtis, the linebacker, shining on special teams late.
I think that ball was touched before it went 10 yards. It looked like it went 9, but I'm not sure it went 10.
The ruling on the field before the ball went 10 yards was illegally touched by a kicking team member, number 51. The ball will be spotted at that spot of illegal touching. Will belong to North Carolina. First down.
Grant Mitchell, the freshman, touched it before it went 10.
Mitchell made the big play on the goal line earlier in this football game. He just anticipated maybe a yard too early and touches the football at the 44-yard line.
Probably see a heavy diet of Elijah Hood on this drive for North Carolina.
And quarterback running by Marquise Williams.
All Williams to the 40. Davis on the stop, second down. Williams again. First down.
Let's credit this offensive line too. This is a run. These are run downs all the way. It's quarterback run. There's no doubt about what North Carolina is going to do, and there's been able to create a surge up front for Williams to run behind. Terrific job by this North Carolina offensive line that's been consistent even though they've had some injuries up front.
First in the ACC in total offense, almost 500 yards per game. We got 412 so far today. They're getting key yards here late as we close in on 2 minutes. Williams again fakes the handoff, stood up. Another quick timeout called for.
Seth Luttrell, the offensive coordinator, did an excellent job of creating sudden change after the turnover. You get a little trick play for an easy 6 points, but they've had the momentum for the majority of the second half.
Second and 9. Helmet coming off of Williams as he goes down to the turf. It's going to be a loss. Third down and long as we go under 2 minutes. And timeout. Georgia Tech, their last.
And now Marquise Williams has to come off the field, I believe, for a play because he lost his helmet on that last down on second down.
Well, they should be in good hands, right? Mitch Trubisky last week threw for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. And to some, there was a quarterback controversy in Chapel Hill until Larry Fedora put that to rest. So Trubisky comes in cold. 3rd and 11 from the 32. He'll run it. And gets ahead to the 30-yard line. Simmons, the tackle. 4th down, North Carolina. Clock running. Neither team with a timeout left. And here comes Marquise Williams.
And this should probably be around a 47-yard field goal opportunity.
Well, he started out there and then was called back as they will attempt the field goal. From 47, you're right. Out of the hold of Joey Mangili. Nick Weiler, his career long is 48, just a yard shorter than that. No! And Georgia Tech, with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go, has life.
So Weiler goes wide right, and now Georgia Tech offensively with 1 minute and 4 seconds from its own 30-yard line. Hands it over to their best player on the day, and that's Justin Thomas, their quarterback.
They're going to have to throw some, we know that. Thomas Behind his man, Lance Davis. No timeouts left. Clock stops on the incompletion. 59 seconds to go.
And Clay, that's been the play they've gone to for success. That short wheel route to the short side of the field, trying to get the football to Lynch up the rail.
Away from center, Thomas looking to throw again. Does to the outside. It's Lance Davis. Immediately wrapped up, and North Carolina kept him in bounds. Clock moving. Stewart and Collins. Big play there defensively as the official hurries to set the football.
And that's big by North Carolina. Keeping the player in bounds. A lot of time off the clock.
Third down. Thomas hesitated. Complete to Stewart, and he got the first down. They'll move the chains. Clock stops with 28 seconds to go.
Good throw and a great catch by Stewart on the sideline. Kept working back to his quarterback, working back to the football. And that clock's going.
Seconds ticking off for Georgia Tech as they scramble up there to get set. Thomas unleashes to the right side, deflected away by M.J. Stewart. Team leader for North Carolina with a couple of picks. Played that perfectly, and there's 10 seconds to go.
A couple of plays ago when North Carolina kept Georgia Tech in bounds, that might have eaten up 20 to 25 seconds. That was a pivotal play, and now you've got to take a shot down the field, either with pass interference or take a shot at the end zone with only 10 seconds left.
Georgia Tech has limited receiver options. Number 2, Ricky June, is their best receiver. He's lined up wide right. Thomas down the middle, finds June. He bobbled it and dropped it. And 4 seconds left.
That throw and catch might have given Georgia Tech enough time to get set up and throw one in the end zone from around the 30-yard line.
Thomas found his man.
He did. One choice now for Paul Johnson and his quarterback, Justin Thomas.
Likely the last play of the game. Thomas, time to throw, heaves it deep to the end zone. Nobody home except North Carolina. Stewart with the pick, and that does it. North Carolina gets out of Atlanta with a win. Down 21-0. And they overcome their largest deficit in program history to win this one in the ACC opener in a tough place, John, to come away with a victory.
Would not have thought this after the first quarter going into the second quarter, but somehow head coach Larry Fedora got his team to rally on defense and on offense, and they did it behind their senior quarterback and leader, Marquise Williams.
Larry Fedora thinking to himself, I told everybody there wasn't a quarterback controversy at Chapel Hill.
Unbelievable. The way Georgia Tech dominated early, you didn't think there was any chance that North Carolina could come back.
North Carolina, they've won 4 straight. They're on bye next week. They host Wake Forest on the 17th. Georgia Tech, they've lost 3 in a row now, and they're at Clemson next week. 38-31 North Carolina, the comeback victory. Coming up next, Eastern Michigan and LSU. Leonard Fournette continuing his run toward the Heisman. For John Kajemi and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Clay Matvick. So long from Atlanta.